What's up, guys? This is part one of ranking every single guitar shape ever made. Okay, so the ranking system goes from S at the best all the way down to Deftones level bad. And obviously this is only part one. I can't do every single guitar in one video. The video would be like an hour long. So I've picked out guitars from brands like Jackson, Epiphone, Dean, BC Rich, and Fender. All right, so starting off the list, we have a Fender Jaguar. I'm not gonna lie. Jaguars, Jazzmasters, and Mustangs look the exact same to me. I have no idea what the differences are. I don't know if they play different. I know sometimes they have different pickups. In my mind, they're the exact same guitar. I don't think they're that bad. They're definitely not terrible looking, but I'm just not the biggest fan of them. I think they all look very basic. So with the Jaguar first, I'm probably gonna go C tier for them. I don't think they're anything special. I know they're some people's thing. They're not my thing. Next up is the Fender Mustang 2. I had no idea this was a thing. I don't know what this is at all, but I'm going to put it in the same tier. Actually, I'm going to put it in D. I think it's slightly worse than the others. All right, and next up we get the Jazzmaster. I'm also going to put that in C. I have no idea what the difference between a Jazzmaster and a Jaguar is, but they're both going to go in C. Okay, so next up we have the Gibson Explorer. This is 100% a Gibson. This is definitely not an Epiphone, believe me. Gibson Explorer is my favorite guitar shape. It's between that and the Ibanez Iceman, so obviously it's going to be S tier. It is my favorite guitar ever, and I happen to own Gibson Epiphone. I happen to own one of them. This is not a Gibson. Deftones level bad. Deftones level. It is the Epiphone Explorer GT. The worst guitar I've ever seen in my life. It's actually disgusting, just like Deftones. All right, next up we got the Gibson Firebird. I'm actually gonna throw this at A tier. My brother plays one of these, except he plays an Epiphone, but it's like his guitar. He's known for playing an Epiphone Firebird. He loves it. Obviously, my thing is the Explorer, but his thing is the Epiphone Firebird. I've played his. I actually really like it. It plays great. It sounds great. Obviously, I like Explorers more, but I actually like the shape of a Firebird, so it's going to go there. All right, next up, we got the BC Rich Mockingbird. Listen, I don't hate Mockingbirds, and I think the expensive ones look amazing. In my mind, I'm so stuck on the cheap ones. The cheap ones look so cheap. Like, by cheap, I mean cheap. They don't look good at all. The cheap ones just look trash to me. They really just don't look good, but the expensive ones look mint. They look quality. I just can't get that out of my head of the cheap ones. I don't like it that much, but I'll go around a C tier for that one. I'm just not the biggest fan of them. The cheap ones kind of like ruin it for me. Definitely a pretty cool guitar, and they definitely play good. All right, next up we got an Epiphone 335. This goes for just any hollow body in general. I actually really like 335s. I'm not the biggest fan of hollow bodies. In most cases, I feel like they're not what I play. They're not designed for the music I play. With that being said, though, they're amazing guitars, and they sound awesome. They sound great. It's just I would never personally get one, only because it really just doesn't match the music I play. I'm a huge fan of these guitars, and since they're so iconic, Back to the Future, and just in general, they're so iconic, I'm gonna put it at A tier. All right, next up we got the BC Rich Beast. Ugly guitar. I don't think they're Deftones level bad, but I will probably put it at D tier. I think there's just too much going on. I feel like that's the case with a lot of BC Rich guitars. And again, with BC Rich guitars, I feel like they look so cheap. I don't know if they're actually that cheap. They look so cheap. The way they look so cheap just really throws me off, and I just don't think they look like good guitars. All right, now we got the bitch from BC Rich. Deftones. It's like if you asked a little kid to draw a guitar and they took a red crayon and just went like this. All right, next up we got the Gibson Flying V. I love Gibson and Epiphone Flying Vs. So comfortable to play. They feel so nice. Standing up, the neck dive is not bad at all. They sit so perfectly when you're playing them. They're just overall such good feeling and playing guitars. The Gibson and Epiphone Flying V is just so iconic, combined with the fact of how much I genuinely just love this shape and how good it actually plays and just looks amazing and plays amazing. Definitely going in S tier. All right, next up we got the BC Rich Warlock. Another just cheap looking BC Rich guitar. I mean, this is the best BC Rich guitar, at least best shape they have. And the nice Warlocks actually look nice. I don't think the same about other BC Rich guitars. The only two I really think that about are Mockingbirds and Warlock, that the nice ones actually do look nice. I feel like every other BC Rich guitar, even if they are nice guitars, just look terrible. But to be honest, it's not that bad. I'm going to put it the same tier as a Mockingbird. All right, next up we got the first Dean on our list. This is a Dean Caddy or Dean Cadillac. Listen, I love the Dean Cadillac. I think it is such a cool guitar. But I think with how the Cadillac looks, it's not a super crazy shaped guitar, even though it's really different. It's not super crazy like some other Dean guitars. So as much as I like Dean headstocks, I actually don't like Dean headstocks on the Cadillac itself. But the nice Cadillacs look They look great. And again, I'm just a big fan of that shape. The top being an Explorer and the bottom being a Les Paul. It's just really cool looking. Such a different shape, but by different, it doesn't look crazy like the bitch down here. And I'm going to put it at A tier. I actually think it is a great looking guitar. All right, next up we got the Les Paul Jr. This is not a really popular guitar. Not a lot of people talk about it. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of this. Ibanez makes their double cut. It's like the GA or they have an AX or something like that. And I really, really like those Ibanez guitars. I'm just not a fan of the Les Paul Juniors or the double cutaway Les Pauls. They definitely don't deserve Deftones level bad, but I'm going to put it at D just because I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Jackson Warrior. They don't look comfortable to play standing up and definitely don't look comfortable to play sitting down. I just don't see why this guitar would be like a cool guitar to play. I don't see why anybody would buy this. So definitely Deftones level bad. All right, next up we got the Jackson King V. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in B tier. I actually don't hate the King V. I would definitely prefer to have a Gibson or Epiphone Flying V. I think King Vs are just too pointy, just look a little too metal. I know that's the type of music I play, but I don't play that heavy. But I definitely don't think the King V is a bad look, and I definitely respect people who play it. I think it's good sitting right in the middle at B tier. Next up we got this monstrosity. I know it's not a guitar, but I had to throw it in there. The Randy Rhoads bass. It's so beyond Deftones level bad, it's not even funny. There's just no need for a Randy Rhoads bass. It's just kind of dumb. Looks like they're just trying to do too much and make popular guitars into basses. I feel like bass designs are, for the most part, all kind of the same. I'm 100% with the idea of making different kinds of basses. That should not be a bass. Next up, we got the Dean ML. I genuinely like the Dean ML shape. I'm not the biggest fan of Dimebag. I like Pantera. Some people really like Dimebag, to the point it's really weird. Dimebag aside, though, the Dean ML is beautiful. It's such an amazing shape. I loved my Dean ML when I had it. I wish I kept it because I'd upgrade it and paint it and everything now. Really hope to make a custom DNML soon. They play amazing. They play amazing standing and sitting. They're just overall a comfortable guitar to play. They feel really nice. They're just good guitars. I like guitars that I can be comfortable playing sitting and standing, and it combines two of my favorite shapes, which would be a Flying V and a Explorer. So again, Dimebag stuff aside, I'm still putting this at S tier. I think it is an amazing looking guitar, amazing playing and feeling guitar. Just a great guitar in general. Next up, we got the Razorback. Ugly. Does not look good. Deftones level bad. I just think it's too much. It doesn't look good. Definitely does not look comfortable to play. I would 100% prefer just a DNML over that. I would never pick a Razorback over a DNML. Next up, we got the Jackson Kelly. I actually don't mind these guitars. I think they're pretty sick. The really nice Kellys look beautiful, and I definitely think it's a great guitar. I like the Explorer more, and it kind of throws me off that it's like a smaller Explorer. It does kind of remind me of the Explorer GT down here, but it's just an overall better looking guitar. This is the only guitar I would consider worse than Deftones, but definitely the Kelly's pretty cool. I'm going to put it right in the middle at B tier. I think it's up there with the King V. Really cool looking guitar. Not something I would personally be that interested in, but definitely a really cool guitar. All right, next up we get the Jackson Dinky. It's kind of just Jackson Super Strat. I'm just not the biggest fan of Dinkies. I feel like they look terrible. They just look like a beginner guitar. Jackson Dinkies, for some reason to me, look like toys, but they're not too bad. I'm going to put it at C. Definitely deserve to be on the same levels like the Mockingbird and the Warlock. The Fender Telecaster. I'm going to go ahead and put this at A tier. I think it is a beautiful guitar. Some people will mod their tellies and they look great. And I think with the right setup, they can really just play anything. They're amazing guitars. Again, super versatile. All right, next up we got the Fender Strat. I like the Van Halen guitars because they're Strats, but they're different. Fender Strats just look boring to me. So that's why I had my two Strats that I turned into my Van Halens. I think that was a huge boost for me in being able to play Strats and actually wanting to play Strats, considering how much of just an iconic look it is and just how like popular those are. I'm going to put it at A tier. I would get a lot of hate if I put that lower than A. Earlier in the video, I did the Fender Mustang 2. I'm not sure whether this is the Fender Mustang 2 or a normal Fender Mustang. Honestly, I had no idea what a Fender Mustang 2 was. So I may have gotten that wrong, and this might be a Mustang, or this could be the Mustang 2. I have no idea. It's going on the same level in D tier. Again, it's the exact same guitar. I have no idea what the differences are, but I'm not the biggest fan of them. Next up, we got the Gibson SG. I owned an Epiphone SG Standard. I loved it. I did not like that it wasn't set up right. This was before I knew how to really set up guitars and make them play nice and everything. But it was set up in C standard, and I just don't play in C standard. I have a drop tune pedal, so I always set my guitars into E standard, and it just played so bad considering it was set up in C standard, and I was playing it in E standard. It was terrible. Overall, though, the look of these guitars, how they play and how they feel is amazing. My favorite is just the red glossy one. They look nice. They feel nice to play. The upper fret access is... And in my opinion, I think they definitely deserve S tier. Next up, we got the Gibson Les Paul. Immediate. They're just amazing guitars. Next up, we got whatever this is. I just saw this and I just threw it in there. I think it's a Kerry King BC Rich. It's terrible. It looks like a knockoff version of the Zach Wild Warhammer. Deftones level bad. All right, next up we got the Gibson Explorer. Overall, I think they're really good guitars. They look nice. They look like they play nice. And I like that there's a Floyd on an Explorer. I just think these are really cool guitars. I'm going to put it at B tier because I think it's right in the middle. I think it's up there with the Kelly because I think it's right in the middle. I think it's a perfect guitar to go right in the middle. All right, next up we got the Randy Rhoads. So I actually owned a Randy Rhoads, but I had the JS32. You guys know what I'm talking about. The wood finish one. The neck dive on Randy Rhoads. Maybe it's just the one I had. It ruined it for me. And that thing just played really bad. I just wasn't a fan of it. Out of all the types of V-shaped guitars, Randy Rhoads are my favorite to play sitting down. I feel like they're actually the only one that's comfortable to play sitting down. And I think the nice Randy Rhoads look. So I would definitely put the Randy Rhoads in A tier. I think they're just really cool guitars. The Dynamel Acoustic. Now we're on to the Jackson Soloist. They look like they're amazing to play, and they just look really good. I don't have much to say about these other than they just look good. The colors they come in are pretty good. They look really good quality. They look like they play amazing, and I've played a couple soloists, and they do play amazing. So I think this definitely deserves an A tier. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.